So, welcome to Press R. This is going to be a weekly podcast, vlogcast on YouTube that we're going to upload to just basically talk about League of Legends and other things. Mainly League of Legends, though, hence Press R. Get it? I know, I'm a goofball. We're moving on. So, I didn't bring patch notes up. That's bad.
My God.
Slacking, right? So, now we can basically, we're introductions of everything. I am Bloodorc slash Executionist PvP slash Siler RH. I, I main jungle, bot, and mid lane. Main champions that I tend to play are Lee Sin, Zed, and Kai'Sa. Occasionally some Vayne and Draven, but not too often.
Is that your real name?
No, no, my real name is Mark.
Ah,
Like you don't know this, but I guess it makes sense to
people don't know it.
introduce myself a little bit more from the YouTube perspective. So
Gotcha.
I've been playing League of Legends since season two. I had
It's
two
a
accounts
long
in,
time.
yeah, 7 years. Well, I mean, I've taken breaks, so it hasn't been seven
Sure.
consecutive years, but it's been. I think I'm gonna. Nah, I should have put
Take
context
off.
in.
Take off your clothes.
Yeah, because it's literally just like
Oh, reflecting your
screen
screen.
reflection. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
should have wore contacts, but I'll know that for next time because I've got a lot of contacts I can
It's
wear
not too bad though.
now. So, but you could
Just
definitely see like
you
both
can't see
screens.
your eyes.
Yeah, yeah. But if I take them off, it's like I have to like
You
do
can't
this
see.
to see
Oh
the notes
yeah.
and everything. So, but
Um, I'm Mia. Um, I only have one account, Ichiyoko-san. Don't ask me how I came up with that name. It just is what it is. But I play a lot of, well, I used to play a lot of mid. Now I'm kind of evolving into playing jungle. So my favorite champs are, you would never guess, but Lux. Um,
I don't know. Just
over
look up
a
your
million
account.
masteries. Actually, I get flamed every time I play. Like, is that all you do? All you do is play Lux? Like, I mean, I've seen other people with a lot of mastery points. I don't know. And then, but some of my favorite junglers to play, probably Zinzao. I like playing Vi now. Play a lot of Vi. And I don't know. I've just been playing around with a lot of jungling.
Uh,
Not really great at it, but I do it. I play. I like Sivir if I were to play ADC.
let's be honest. You spent the majority of 2019 playing TFT
Playing
when you actually got back from
I love TF.
like your vacation of playing video games for
I
like
love
6 months.
TFT.
Only place that she
RNG.
can hit platinum.
Oh.
So yeah,
But yeah,
that's yeah, that's basically the introduction to who we are. We won't ever have to go over this again because we only want to realistically cover it one time. It doesn't make sense to cover it every time we play. Somebody can go back
right.
and watch. But from here, we're gonna go over patch notes, and we're not gonna cover all the patch notes because there's a lot of it that just doesn't matter. We're just gonna kind of cover the things that we think are gonna change, like lower elo meta and things like that, because realistically, like the nerfs that took place on a lot of the champions really only affect professional play. They're not going to really affect your games because you're not doing a 5-man squad. You're not relying on a specific champion for a specific thing. You're playing your style of play to try and climb the ladder. So
I mean, I'm definitely professional. I don't know about you, but I'm thinking
professional
in the
TFT.
professional level.
So I think like the Akali change, because like the Aatrox change, like he got a little bit of his minion damage back with the Q, so it's not as nerfed as it was. But I don't think it changed him enough to make him like, oh, you
Yeah,
have to pick this champion top if you want to win. Like, I
right.
don't think it's gonna force bans out. I don't think it's gonna force anybody to really care because it didn't really change him much at all. It didn't change his damage to
Yeah,
champions or anything else. It just
and
his.
he's not. Yeah, he's not really a champ right now.
I mean, in
Like
professional play, he's taken just because
a little bit. Yeah,
there's certain matchups that you'd rather play Aatrox in than playing.
yeah. I think it has to be very situational. Like in a maybe worlds, if they were to choose it, everything would have to line up for them to pick Aatrox. So,
That's for sure. I
but
think the biggest change that I'm kind of like annoyed with but I haven't seen a lot of people abuse this yet, right? So like Annie should be making a comeback because now she gets a huge cooldown change on her
Yeah.
E, and she's also getting movement speed increase. So like we're not talking about a small change to Annie. We're talking about a significant like you put Annie into a support role or a mid lane role. Like I don't think you'll see her mid in professional play, mainly because like she
Right.
just does not have the kit that makes her as mobile as a Silas Akali or LeBlanc, Zed, Talon, like any one of those that like might get picked in the mid lane matchups because she's just not that mobile. But her roam presence is now gonna be kind of scary. So her
Right.
in a
Yeah.
support roles, like what do you do with that? I mean, we're talking she went from a 25% at rank 1 to 30%. So she got a 5% movement speed increase at the start and it scales up to
It's
60%
60%. Yeah.
at 18. It's like 60% movement speed. You talk about getting MOBA boots and just roaming between
I was about to
lanes.
say, yeah. Put some
Like,
mobile boots on her. That'd be dangerous. Very
yeah,
dangerous.
yeah.
Especially in lower elo. I don't know about so much like professional, but definitely lower elo. I think that's probably one of the biggest change for lower elo.
I'd have to agree with you, but like the downside of it is I don't think there's enough lower elo players that will understand how to abuse
Right.
this as much as like there would be in the professional scene. I would expect to see Annie get banned or picked quite often in professional play on the LCS stage as a support, just because it's going to be something where
They
she's
know how to
just
play them.
and it's like, hey, Annie's missing. Oh, she's already top.
Yeah.
My bad. Don't know how that one happened.
I think it's good for her though, especially like mid lane, because a lot of times you're playing against a more aggressive roaming champ, like maybe like an Akali or something. So it'd give her more
Get there
ability to get
quicker.
to a lane faster. Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely something that like I think there's gonna be one trick pony that's gonna be really happy with this change. If anybody's familiar with Antibot, he'll definitely love the change to this if he's still playing. I haven't looked recently. I think the most significant change though in this patch, support wise, is gonna be the Blitzcrank change. They added 100 range onto his Q, so now it's just like people are thinking they're flashing perfectly far enough away and still getting hit by and going, I don't understand. It's like,
Yeah.
well, you talk about that range. That 100 range is significant. I'm not too familiar with the passive stacks. Like, is that just how many times it like ticks onto a minion or somebody? Like, is
I
this?
think so.
Yeah, because
Yeah, his R. Yeah.
yeah,
Just
because
however many times.
Fiora is definitely I think gonna be one of those champions that's gonna need to be picked or
Yeah.
banned. I mean, the fact
I
that
don't know. Yeah.
the fact
I'm
that
I'm iffy on that.
her Q can now hit
Yeah.
towers, and E Blade Work can now deal bonus damage to turrets. Like her pushing power, where
Right. Yeah. Split pushing. Yeah.
like it's
Unlike
just
before. Yeah.
it's just not even fair. I mean, realistically, I think it only really affects the early game when turret plates are up, because the faster you can kill the turret plates, the quicker you get gold and things like that. Like
Right.
later on, when she's already got 3 items, the towers are gonna die if she gets just left alone.
Right.
Nothing
Yeah.
can change that. But other than that, I don't think it's I don't know. I don't think it's gonna
No.
really make too much of a difference. But like, if there's a minion wave, obviously the Q into turret isn't really gonna do a whole lot because it
Not really. Yeah.
prioritizes uh, vitals.
I just yeah. I just think she's not a big pick right now. I don't know. I don't really see a whole lot of people picking her. I guess maybe she's just maybe in lower elo actually quite a bit, but not about a higher elo.
Yeah, she definitely has been picked in LCS play a lot.
Yeah.
But with worlds coming up and the way that things changed, and like this is the something I'll kind of like go over in a little bit here. Gragas' nerf, I don't think that really made too much of a difference. I still see him in the jungle. He's still doing well. He's slower,
Oh yeah.
but
Yeah.
he's not nerfed into the ground like a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, these changes are gonna ruin Gragas. When you talk about somebody that's got a CC and a knockback and a slow in his kit, like it's just something that
Yeah.
you don't want to sit there and deal with a lot of.
No. And I think he's one of the stronger junglers right now. As far as I mean, you'll see Yankos pick him up as well. And
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, then we got. I don't really care for the
Graves.
Graves.
Yeah.
His changes were to his base stats, so it makes him a little stronger. But like you
I
only
like them
see.
giving him a little love.
Hey. Graves was like, "What about me? Can I get my cigar
Yeah.
back?" I think
They're like, let's throw this in here right now.
I'm
Yeah.
just
Throw this one in here.
there we go. We did something for Graves, everybody.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Donger changes?
I hate that because I hate playing against him. So he's like annoying already. And so to have his stun obviously increase and also his AP ratio increase, I mean, that's going to be annoying as heck.
I mean,
His Q and his R.
well, it
Uh-huh.
checks his R tower, but I mean, most of the time
Yeah,
you'll see that most Dongers will use E empowered with R, just because
right. Yeah,
three possible stuns, it's harder to miss.
right. Yeah.
Uh,
I think there's ways to play around it, but also at the same time, it's very annoying in lower elo, depending on what you're playing, what you pick.
oh yeah, I hate taking Zed into
No, yeah.
a Donger. It's just like I either sit there
Complete
trying to kill
poke.
his turrets all game,
Yeah.
or I just get forced out of lane. It's like
Yeah.
the ways around that obviously is just go roam bot, roam top, get kills there, and let him just
Right.
slow push into the towers. Like it's still kind of annoying, but at least the turret focuses his turrets first, so it kind of stops him from just having three turrets smack a tower
Right.
forever.
Yeah.
I don't play Karma, so I don't really care too much
You're
about.
not really.
Like I
And
get it.
I think a lot of people choose her for a reason. I mean, more of a CC game rather than her actual AP scaling. More of crowd control and shielding. A lot of shielding.
Yeah, if you ask me, her shielding is what needed her nerf. Like I mean,
Right.
most of the time she was only ever picked top lane into a Darius because you can just bully Darius out. He's got to
Right.
run at you.
Yeah.
He can't slow poke you down. Mordekaiser, this I don't I don't see like the change to his shield being too effective. Like I mean, if he gets fed, obviously he's going to be a monster to deal with, but he's not something that I think
Yeah.
there's ways to counter out of him. You just buy a QSS, buy an hourglass, and you
Right.
negate half of his ult anyway.
And I think
Or
he's more of a counter pick champion anyway. Like you would pick him going into something. You know, I don't feel like you would just pick him. Like, yeah, let's pick Mordecai your type.
yeah,
I mean,
I definitely don't pick him Mordekaiser's top for the fun of it because
no. Yeah.
I'm more of an assassin player slash playmaker player anyway. I don't really like the
Yeah.
slow game, which is what
Right.
Mord's real thing is. I think the next thing that we're with Oriana, I think this is going to be like the big thing for Worlds.
Yep.
The increased damage and increased ability power per. It's just
50 points. It's ridiculous.
it
50. It's a 50-point increase
across all
on each
levels.
level. Yeah.
I'm
Plus point 0.8 AP increase.
I mean that's only a
Um,
point one change, but the point 50,
right.
the 50 points beginning is like that's kind of like where I'm like
Early game. Yeah.
I mean because you imagine like most Orianas will max W first
Right.
because like you're not gonna max Q, you're not gonna max your shield unless you're really getting just bullied out and you need to like trying to shift your ball around enough. Like you're gonna max that, and it's like that at rank. What is it? You get three ranks in that
Right.
before you get R. So that
6.
already
Yeah.
does like 250 damage. R now does 200 damage.
Right.
So you have 450 damage
Okay.
before she even does anything else. So if she's already got you poked down, that's an instant detonate. That's just I I think
Yeah.
that's gonna be
Early
a big
level.
thing in Worlds.
Oh yeah. And early level too. It's gonna get her ahead much. And even her roaming game. I mean, it's gonna it's gonna be
Yeah,
a pain to deal with. Basically, what it
I
is.
think she's gonna be another one of them champs that are like picked or banned.
I think insta ban. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's other champs to ban too,
It's hard
but
to specify what's gonna be insta ban because there are a lot of changes that went on
right.
where it's like where they nerfed someone, they inadvertently buffed a specific champion that champion dealt
Yeah.
with effectively.
Right.
Like Darius is now gonna be like, oh, what are you gonna take into me? A Gnar? Let's go.
Yeah.
So so I think like there's still champions that are more worth banning
More.
than
Right.
Oriana
Yeah.
because I mean she still really doesn't scale well in team fighting damage wise till later in the game. Probably level 11, 3 items underneath her when she just walks up and one shots your AD carry, and you're like, well,
Right.
there goes our Vayne. I didn't really care for the. There's not really a big change in Pantheon and Ornn that I care to talk about. Rek'Sai, I don't think this is gonna make Rek'Sai a big pick in Worlds. Like being, yeah, he now gets to Q towers. I mean,
Yeah. I
well, she
mean,
rather. My bad,
Yeah.
guys. I think like
Yeah, I don't know. I think people can play around that though. Once you know how to, it's kind of like Kindred. Like once you know how to play with the marks, once you know how to play around the tunnels and their, speed of clearing camps, then I mean, you can figure it out.
I don't think this made Rek'Sai a pick champion for Worlds.
Right.
You might see her in the off game where somebody's like, "Oh, we've got this idea." I mean, especially like because if Rek'Sai I don't know if Oriana's ball would reset, right? So like if you picked Oriana Rek'Sai and put the ball on Rek'Sai, she lands a Q onto a champion and then presses R. Does the ball still travel with her because she burrows on the ground and leaps out? Because if the ball stays on her,
I don't. Yeah.
that's instantaneously broken. Like how do you deal with that? You got a Rek'Sai that you can't dodge. You can only hourglass. So
Right.
how many people are gonna have like? I mean, Pocket Watch obviously is like a number one thing to buy or get for free from
Right.
Masteries, but it's just that thinking about that makes me go, if that works, because technically it does make Rek'Sai untargetable, but unless Rek'Sai moves out of range of Oriana, the ball should stay on him, and that just gives
Right.
her a free shockwave into command. Riven changes. I
Yeah.
don't play Riven, and I know like these changes, like they increase the cooldown but then nerf the cooldown. I think the shielding that she gets now quicker late game just makes her a monster, but I don't think it matters. I think the last two things I'm gonna even look at here are Sejuani and Silas because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on patch notes.
Right.
Like
I
said,
think Sanjani will still be picked, especially in Worlds.
yeah, the
Like,
she's just got too much CC,
right. Yeah.
so she
I don't
doesn't
even
do.
think the flatten damage ratio is going to really even
Yeah, I don't think it's
change
gonna
change
burn.
her game. Yeah.
The last change would be Silas. I think actually Silas and Twisted Fate would be the ones I want to kind of cover here. I forgot about Twisted Fate's change.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
was gonna say one thing about Vagar too. I mean, that's a huge, especially for lower elo. His
especially
cooldown. Oh yeah.
especially Vagar supports.
Yes.
You max that early and you get your cooldown item that's an
And
eight
you get,
second
yeah,
stun
right.
every
45
time.
second CDR or 45% CDR. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
But Silas's nerf to take him out of the jungle, I'm kind of happy with because like you have a champion that just walks around stealing people's ultimates and then fighting. It's just it's so obnoxious. We're nerfing him so he's not 100% picked at Worlds. Like that's 100% like he's either
Right.
top jungle or mid instantaneously every game or instabanned every game. He's not. It's like we ban Yumi and sacrifice letting them have Silas, or we ban Silas and sacrifice them getting Yumi, and it was like there's two Sejuani ults on the map.
I think they'll still pick him up though. We'll see. I feel like we'll still see him.
I think
Maybe a
we'll still
couple
see him in
games.
mid. I don't think we'll
Yeah.
see him in jungle as much or top lane as he was. The Twisted Fate pick, like I don't think this is gonna make him a Worlds pick, but I do think it's gonna
Right.
make him a more of a 80 mid laner or a really obnoxious jungler. Because I mean, there's those people that just will take TF, run and get Blood Razor, get Ruinance Hurricane, and what's the Rage Blade, and then just walk at people. I
Yeah.
stun you, and I've got full stack deck, so I've got 200% attack speed. Cards. Just,
Yeah. I mean,
man.
it's like he has an item pretty much at the beginning. Like, I mean, the
Yeah,
attack speed.
yeah.
Yeah.
He gets a dagger right out of the gate from the second
Right.
he puts a point in E.
Yeah.
So
I think that's probably one of the bigger changes. That one right there.
yeah, because he gets
We'll
20
see.
attack speed, and bonus damage is up 10. Like at
Right.
every level, it's up 10. So and it's up. What is it? It's 5% per level. Oh no, it's 5% early and then 10% later. So I
Right.
mean, at rank 5, he's got 40% attack speed.
Late. Yeah.
You attach Blood Razor and Rage Blade on that. What do you do against that? Cards like every
Yeah.
point 5
Cards.
seconds.
Yeah.
Xin Zhao's change wasn't really that much of a thing. Zac, Lex Bounce, the Blob's now restored max life. I think Zac's gonna be a pick or ban champion at Worlds.
Yeah.
100%.
What about the Yumi change? I think at least for Worlds, I mean that's a significant decrease. I mean, it's good. It helps. I think it helps to even out that.
I think it
bot
only
lane.
affects her early laning presence, right?
Right.
Because they nerfed the slow to 20% at all ranks, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the slow duration is still 1 second, and the slow doesn't decay over time. But that's 20% slow on an
Right.
ADC with somebody just beating at him. Plus her R that's guaranteed stun if it hits him multiple times. Like,
Mm-hmm.
my opinion, I don't think Yumi was nerfed so hard that she won't be picked, but I don't think she'll be as highly contested as she was during Summer Split.
Right.
So
Is my
that's
camera glitching?
I don't know. Does it look like it's glitching?
Is it? Well, when I look in Discord, it's like blinking.
No, it's
Is
not
it
blinking on
blinking
my
on your
side.
end? Okay, that's good.
That's just your graphics card being garbage.
Thank you. Probably is.
Alright, so we're gonna move on to Worlds 2019. So the first thing we'll cover is plan predictions. We'll probably cover group play, not like the actual knockout stage next time we do a video, because actually that's gonna be really hard because like the next time we film a video,
Right.
group
They'll be
stages
done or started.
group stage will already be, or play-ins will already be halfway over. So, but I can't make predictions on the group draw until we know who the final four competitors are from play-ins. So we got what,
Right.
12 teams that were going into play-ins. So a lot of these teams are international teams. I don't know them too well. I know Clutch Gaming, obviously from NA. I know Splice. Dave, Demo. I can't pronounce that. You pronounce that for me?
Damwon. Damwon.
Yeah.
Damwon.
Like those are like the three main things that most
Right.
people recognize. Everyone else looks like they're an international. Like we've got Vietnam, the LMS, CIS, Latin America, Turkey, Brazil, Japan, Oceanic, and Southeast Asia. Um, I mean, looking at it, like maybe I'm gonna say at least Splice and Demon Gaming get out, but like the other two picks, like in my like maybe Unicorns of Love from CIS, which I don't even is that even the same Unicorns of Love that plays in EU?
I'm not sure.
Where is CIS from? Let me open
They're
this
in
up.
the LCL.
Where is that at? Oh, over in Germany, Russia.
Yeah.
Oh, so they played like with Gambit and all that. Okay. So I don't know. Unicorns of Love maybe. I don't
Yeah.
think the bottom teams like
I
Detonation
don't think
Gaming
they'll make
Mammoth will
it
make
till
it.
the end. Like, I mean, I think they'll they'll get out of. I mean, obviously, make it out of the end. Like, I think Damwon will make it out.
I definitely
Royal
think
Youth
Splice will.
apparently played well. Um,
I
yeah,
think
and Splice.
those are like
Splice.
the two that I can almost say are 100% getting out of play-ins.
Right. And
But
might
like
make it. I think they'll probably make it the furthest if any of the play-in teams were to go.
what, Demon or Splice?
Uh, Either of those, I think they'll make it far. Um, Out of all these other teams, if
I don't
if
know. I
any
don't
of the teams.
I don't see them getting out of knockout stages. Like I mean, when you look at like the teams that are in knockouts or just already, I mean, you've got
Right.
Fun Plus Phoenix from the LPL, Royal Never Give Up, Invictus Gaming, SK Telecom T1 or Telecom
Mm-hmm.
Team 1, Griffin, who was like the biggest competitor against SKT, G2 Esports, Fnatic, Team Liquid, Cloud9. I'm like mainly because like they've got Sneaky, but like the biggest meme out there is Sneaky in lane.
Right.
Like you just abuse him early, and he's behind the whole game. But he is a good ADC. He if I ever played against him, I'd probably go 0 and
Yeah.
50 in 5 minutes. Not there's just no way around
I think
that.
yeah. I think there's just too many other stack teams that I don't think they'll be able to go too far. I just think the other teams are winning,
100%. I think
especially the European. And impressively this year, I feel like the European teams are gonna do fairly well, at least a few of them. So,
I think
which is more
G2
than
might
normal.
make it to finals.
Yeah.
Like the the way that they've played, the way that they've just dominated. I mean, they even won MSI this year against SKT, didn't they?
Right.
So
Yep.
it's just like G2 definitely has a chance of being one of the top two teams. I think unless they go like and forget how to play League of Legends, there's just
Yeah.
no way I don't see them making it at least into finals.
Right. I mean, they went to 5 with both SKT and Fnatic. So I don't know.
But I
I
mean,
guess
it's
they have their flaws. They
they
have their
do.
flaws. So
I mean,
if
any
they can
team cannot.
exploit them, yeah. I think for Fnatic, their big thing is obviously Reckless, getting him as fed as possible. I mean,
Yeah, because I don't see on like the Fnatic team, I don't see anybody that really makes me go, oh, that
right.
like they've got this. Like there's Whippo, but like he's got the same problem that any
Yeah.
top laner has. You camp him early, he's behind, and he's just ineffective the rest of the game.
Right.
Right? Especially like with the style that Korea and China play, like NA and EU have gotten so complacent in playing late game scaling champions and just waiting for 45 minutes to go win a game. Whereas like Korea and China are like, hey, at 18 minutes we're pushing your Nexus.
Yeah.
Oh, let's take these champions that'll be good at 32 minutes. 18 minutes game over, and you're like, I don't understand what happened here.
I do like Hylissang though. I feel like he's a pretty good support. Like he's all like either all in good, all in bad, you know. But he'll take everyone's damage. Like he's like the front line for them. I feel like.
He's definitely. It's about to start storming here.
Is it?
Yeah. I don't know if it is where you are. You're like 40 minutes away from me, but that's thunder outside.
It looks a little dark. Yeah.
My dog is cowering underneath my desk now. It's thunder! So, I mean, who's your top four to get out of play-ins?
Let's get out of play-ins
Yeah, like to
or
get to.
like group play.
No, group. We'll do group in a moment. So play-ins,
Uh,
like the teams that have to compete to actually play in worlds.
well, I don't even know that group C, but I definitely think Unicorns love. I mean, I'd say the same thing. Splice. I feel like Splice. I think right, Royal Youth might give them one a chance.
From Turkey?
Uh,
I don't know. I haven't.
yeah. I watched them play a little bit, and I mean, they came out in their. They come out in their tournament. They came out first in their in TCLs, but I mean, they probably don't have a lot of good teams that they're playing. So
I mean,
they're
when
putting Turkey on the map. They're putting Turkey on the
that would be a different story, wouldn't it?
yeah.
So, so you're thinking Korea, Europe, Turkey, and CIS is getting out.
Yeah.
I would actually probably put. So 100% Splice is making it out.
Right.
Korea's gonna make it out. I'm not gonna try and pronounce their name every time. I'm just gonna call them DG because if I try and call them anything else, I'm gonna screw it up because my enunciation is garbage. Um, I actually think Hong Kong Attitude might make it out.
I was gonna say HK attitude.
Like, and the only reason for that is like, there's nothing against American or European players, but like Korea, China, Japan, all of them had like focused on making gaming better and putting effort into people being professional gamers long before
Yeah.
America was like, "Oh, we're wasting your time on video games." So I think Hong Kong has a better chance of getting out than Turkey does. But
Yeah. And plus, I mean, they're constantly evolving their game too. Like
yeah,
they're always ahead of everybody else for some. I mean, Europeans are doing pretty well too, but I feel like they just see the game a lot better for some reason. And see
yeah.
what they want to change, and then they do.
So I honestly, so I'll go with DG, Splice, HK, and probably Unicorns of Love getting out of play-ins. Like that'd be my thought process behind it.
I'm gonna
Now
stick with Damwon. I'm gonna go back to Damwon.
I'm
I
gonna
think.
here's where the hard part comes in though, right? So we know who each who's in each group for the
Right.
actual group draw and group play, right? For the
Right.
knockout stage, right? Whoever gets placed in Group C from the play-in stage is instantly eliminated from the tournament. There's just like you're going against RNG and SKT, right?
Right.
So without Fnatic being there, you're going against the two greatest teams in League of Legends history. Like you're going up against Uzi, you're going up against Faker.
Right.
Like,
Right.
if that's not got your stomach in knots, being one of these playing teams going, oh shit, one of us is getting Group C, like that's in my opinion, whoever gets put in Group A, Group C, is just gonna be screwed.
Right.
So the upside of it is right. Uh, Splice can't get placed in Group A or C because there are already two European teams in those, so they're
Uh,
instantly going straight to Group B or D. So that gives Splice a chance if they make it out of play-ins. They'll be put, and the best hope that they could have is getting Group B, right? Because even though Phoenix is there, right, or
right.
whatever, what is
Funless.
FPX? Fun
Funless
Plus,
Phoenix.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Fun Plus Phoenix, as long as they get into that, like they can take out the other two teams that are there,
Right.
with it being Gam Sports from Vietnam and J Team from Taiwan. So Splice has the best chance if they get Group C draw. Group D, I don't. I think it's gonna be a 50-50 chance because AHQ has always been one of these up and down teams. They've never been really 100% successful in whatever they do. So
Stop. Come here. Stop. Go lay down.
dogs ruining the podcast. Go figure.
Yeah. Hide the toy.
So I honestly think 100% Group B and D, whoever gets in them has the best chance of getting out into semifinals.
Yeah. Oh
Whoever
yeah, for
gets
sure.
Group A and
Group
Group
C is, I mean, that's probably the toughest. I feel
ah,
like that's the toughest. I mean, you got RNG, SKT, Fnatic. I mean, that's
but look at Group A as well. You've got Griffin, who was second place to SKT and almost took first place from SKT, right?
yeah,
And you've got G2 Esports. So, like when you look at Group A and Group C, like there's no way that whoever gets picked from play-ins gets put into a semifinal spot against those four teams. Like you
right.
take Fnatic and Cloud9 out of the picture from those two, you've got the world's worst combo in those groups. Like Fnatic's all like, "Oh, we could take out SKT no problem," but I'm like,
Right. Which brings me to the point that Team Liquid got hella lucky.
I mean, if I was Team Liquid, I would be doing my victory dance
I
raining money.
know.
Just, you mean we got the world's crappiest teams? It's free victory. We're going to semis no matter what.
Right.
Which would be what the first time an NA team has, or the second
Right.
time, because Cloud9 made it out once. It'd be like the second or third time in history of worlds that NA
Right.
has made it to semi, but they've never made it to, or no, they made it to quarterfinals, not semifinals. My bad. So I've been calling it semifinals the whole time, but it's quarterfinals they're going to. My bad.
And I think the only way they make it far, I mean, Double Lift is great, but I feel like Core JJ is gonna have to also play really well.
Team Liquid has two really good carries in there. They've
Right.
got Jensen, they've got Double Lift. Those dogs, man, they really want to tear it up.
Stop. Pause.
This here is why I don't own many dogs. And my dog that's here doesn't bark unless he's like locked outside or in a room while you're. If you lock him in a room and leave, he gets loud. But he doesn't. He's nowhere near as obnoxious as those
You will have
dogs.
to edit that out.
No, no, it's a vlogcast. It's going through any disruptions. Plus, I got to just talk crap about your dogs for a second because my dog doesn't bark like that.
Wow.
You're
Don't talk about
obnoxious
my dog.
animals.
They aren't barking, they're
They,
playing.
yeah, they were playing, but growling. My dog doesn't growl. I win.
Because he can't play with another, he plays with cats.
He just no. We tried to get him another dog. We had actually
Oh.
gone and picked up a dog that was closer to a pit bull. Her name was Maya, and like they literally almost went to each other's throats. Like it was a vicious fight. So we had to give Maya to somebody else. So
So who do you think's making it out of Group A?
G2 Griffin.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
obvious.
I don't think
I
C9
don't
has
even
a
think
chance.
whoever even gets the play-in.
No, whoever gets played in just basically hands Griffin and G2 free wins. Uh,
I mean, who do you think the number one jungler is right now? Yankos or Clid? I mean,
wait, but now you're comparing like G2 is in Group A, Clid is in Group
well, I
C.
know that. Yeah.
So I don't think that matters at that point. Like if you're looking at like it'd be Griffin's jungler versus Yankos, and
Which, yeah.
like I honestly think it's gonna be Griffin number one seed out of Group A with G2 being seed two out of Group A.
Wow.
Because I mean you've got Griffin versus SKT. Now to be fair, G2 did beat SKT, but
Right.
with the changes to the patch and everything else, and the fact that SKT doesn't even have to play G2 in the game, I think it's free for Griffin to take over. Now I could be wrong. Yankos could, and what is it? Is it Caps that's mid laner for G2?
Yeah. I think Caps though, he's like, he's very inconsistent. Like what I've been watching, he's like either has a really good game or like a okay game. I mean, he holds his own no matter what, but
Yeah,
I
so
don't know.
I take Griffin G2 in that order. I'm not gonna do Group B or D because like there's a significant chance whoever gets
Yeah.
placed in them from play-ins can affect it. So that'll probably wind up covering another time in one of these. But
I'm hoping to see them. I'm hoping to see Perks play awesome.
Perks play Yasuo. Isn't Perks the ADC now?
Yeah, apparently if he plays Yasuo, if that gets through, it would be him playing Yasuo more than Caps if if they were to pick Yasuo.
You know what I'd rather see? I'd rather see, and this is one of those things that people can take from my advice and cheese in game, right? Take Yasuo support
As a support, yeah.
and pick Callista, right? So your early game is terrible till level 6, right? As soon as level 6 hits, you are in Yasuo. He instantly has knockup plus Kaisa just hitting or Callista hitting for free. It doesn't even require him to land
Yeah, true.
Qs, just instant
Right.
Rs. And we're talking that's what 4.5 seconds of knockup time because the
Yeah.
knockup is 1 point or 2 point seconds and then his last breath is 2 seconds. So it's timed right. They're just stuck in air for 4 seconds with a rending Callista on them. I just abuse
Yeah.
that in lower elo because people won't know how to play against it. Will it work in professional play? Probably not.
No. I don't think we'll see that.
Yeah, probably not. No. All right, so let's cover Group C. Who do you think's making it out seed one? Who's making out seed two?
I think SKT is going to be one. I feel like they always show up to play in tournaments. I mean, even though they didn't win the MSI, I still think, I mean, they came out at the end of their season, they were really strong. So, but now I feel like, oh, I don't know.
You're
It's
gonna
up
go
in there
against her
between RNG and Fnatic. You know
because
what? If Reckless has a really good pull play, I mean, if they feed him and he plays well, I feel like they have a really good chance. But I'm probably gonna have to say RNG then.
I would say if Broxa gets a heavy CC or in the jungle and just camps bot, 100% Fnatic make it in seed two. But if Broxa focuses mid and top in that and leaves Reckless to fight on his own, RNG makes it up 100% because
Yeah,
I like Uzi versus Reckles is just it's such a skill matchup at that point.
it
Like
is.
it's literally
Yeah,
it's not I have the better champion because I've seen both of them outplay each other in countless tournaments before. So, but I would have to agree with you SKT and then RNG because it's like
yeah. I mean, Uzi's just so strong.
I
I
would
mean,
love
he's been
for
playing for so.
I would love for RNG to take the whole tournament just because Uzi deserves it. Like the amount of time and effort he's put into this game. Like he's like the longest reigning ADC next to Reckles.
Yeah,
Like I
I
don't
think
think
so.
that's an ADC because like I mean Uzi was playing in the finals against SKT in season three when SKT won Worlds, and everybody had their money on RNG, and SKT
Right.
just like, what about me?
I remember that. Yeah.
But SKT showed up and did things that no one like
Oh
a
yeah.
level 2 Alistair dive on mid lane turret. What? Who thinks of this stuff? So yeah, Group B and D, I'll have to see the draw. We might do like a minor like 5 minute video discussing that sometime after play-ins happens. We know who's going where.
Right. Yeah.
Because I mean, Group B, FPX, Group D, TL's
Oh
getting
yeah.
out. Just what seed they're gonna have and who's gonna go with them is questionable.
I mean, yeah. Fun Plus, they got doing B. I mean, he's just, you know what? He's pretty close to as good as Faker. I feel like he's without him. I feel like they'd be a lot less of a
And
good team.
I would say without him, they wouldn't even be in Worlds.
Right.
Any other mid laner from like if FPX had any other mid laner, nope. So state of the current game or state of the current affairs in League of Legends. We'll cover the different roles. We'll start in top lane. How do you think top lane's faring out with the current patch that's coming up for Worlds? And what do you think is going to be the champions that kind of like factor into these plays?
Um, I think you're still gonna see. I feel like you're gonna see Jax. I feel like you're still gonna see Jax if Jax were to get through. Obviously, I don't know. Urgot's been pretty strong. Like at least a super tanky champ. I don't know, but I want to say that you'll probably see Kled up there too. Out there, I feel like you'll see a Kled.
I think Kled's ability to get from one point to the other without having to
Right.
use TP is just
Right.
too strong not to say that he won't be picked in the top lane.
Yeah.
But I mean, my top three champions I think are going to be top lane picks 90% of the time is going to be your Kennen, Darius, Kled.
Yeah.
Like the CC that's offered from Kennen is just too powerful. Kled's ability to get from point A to point B is just too strong, and Darius is just I'm Darius. What are you going to do about me?
Yeah.
You
True.
might still see an Aatrox picked up here or there because Aatrox can kind of like keep the lane with Darius,
Right.
like not to where Darius is just shoving whoever's in because Aatrox can just clear with his Q. He doesn't
Yeah.
have to do too much work into it. But the downside of it is if he screws up one time and gets hooked, he just gets chunked out of lane. Once Darius gets
Yeah.
Black Cleaver, Darius just runs the game.
Yeah. And we might see a Fiora. Never know.
It could be
It
picked.
has to be the right time.
I think Irelia is still going to be a.
Oh yeah.
I didn't want to talk about Irelia too much because she's flex picked into mid into top way too often for her to be considered one lane or the other.
Right.
But I definitely think she'll be a top pick into certain things because like
Definitely.
Fiora
Yeah.
into Darius does well, Fiora into Aatrox does well, Fiora into Jax does well, or not Fiora, but Irelia into
Irelia.
Jax.
Yeah.
Like Irelia into any one of those three champions just does really well
Right.
by comparison. Uh, I do think though, like I'm kind of glad it's not the full tank meta that we saw all through uh, summer split. Because I mean, it's like you looked at it, it was Sejuani, Gragas going full
Right.
tank, top laners taking tanks, and then it was just like who got the first amount of CC off,
Yeah.
and that determined the game for the most part. Like I'm very happy the fact that they buffed Vayne up a little bit, so now it's just, like there's an answer to that. The downside of it is you have to survive Vayne's pre-level 8, because
Right.
before Vayne has like Phantom Dancer and Blade of the Ruined King, Vayne's kind of useless. But once she gets those items, her R, Q, and W is just too strong.
Yeah.
So moving on to jungle, since you've been playing this a little bit more.
Definitely Sejuani. I mean, just for the play that she does. I mean, you know, I just feel like they'll pick Sejuani to handle certain situations that they run into. A lot of like some CC as well, and then you have Gragas. I feel like Gragas would be um, a pick as well as far as on the jungle side. Um, I don't know. We might see Silas. So I don't think his decreasing was enough to maybe keep it out of a few of like maybe Yankees. He might definitely think Olaf will be played.
I mean, it's Olaf. When has Olaf not been
Yeah,
like So, I honestly, in jungle side of things, I think we'll probably see some Lee Sin because Lee Sin did get some buffs in 80 or 918 that made him definitely stronger. And with the early aggression that you see from like people like SKT, FPX, RNG, like Lee Sin's early game is just too good to
Yeah.
not consider it. Now, obviously, if Skarner's on the map, please don't take Lee Sin into Skarner. It's a stupid pick. Oh, hey, look, I'm gonna queue. Oh shit, I've been R'd. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming. So,
What do you think about Tom Kench in the jungle? You think that we'll see that? Maybe. I mean, he's still definitely weak.
in play-ins, maybe. And the reason I say this is because like every team that's gonna play in play-ins shouldn't show their cards of what they would play
Right.
later, right? Tom Kench in the jungle isn't something I'd be like that's gonna carry a game.
No.
It's enough to be like, oh, let's just do this to annoy people. It might tilt them enough for us to just snowball through the game.
Yeah.
Because I mean, how annoying if it is if you're trying to clear a buff or a camp and Tom Kench just tongue eats it over the wall, and you're like, well, I'm out of that experience in gold. The hardest part for Tom Kench though is like his clear is so slow by comparison to a Sejuani, an Olaf, a Silas, a Lee Sin. Like the clear is just too much for him to be
Right.
a highly contested pick. But like in certain play-ins games, maybe some team might just be like, this is gonna work, and it might work for him.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna cover mid lane in two topics. Right, because this is slightly different of a game changer because like great junglers you automatically know they're gonna be some form of CC, some sort of
Yeah.
lockdown. You know top lanes are gonna play some type of like bruiser tank because it's just there. But mid lane has a range that can be played because you can bring in a bruiser, you can bring in an assassin, you can bring in a mage, you can bring in an ADC like Corki, and just there's so much range in the mid lane that there's not enough. We could probably sit here for 6 hours talking about the different champs that could be played in mid lane and what would be an advantage to having that versus not. So let's go in this route. We're gonna cover assassins and ADs in mid lane, and then mages and bruisers in another, right? Because you have Silas who's like a mage bruiser. He can also be considered an assassin, but I think like he's not one of those people that you go and face check into and he blows you up in 2 seconds like a LeBlanc or Diana or an Akali.
So assassins first.
Assassins and 80s. So your Corkis, your Zeds, your Talons, your LeBlancs.
I definitely think. I feel like Echo is gonna be picked.
He's got a strong jungle now. I think the downside of Echo is there's too much counterplay against him in the mid lane now.
Yeah.
Like he either has to get a snowball early and win, or he'll see you in 45 minutes when he's got his items.
Yeah. Akali. I feel like that's an easy.
Especially since they rebuffed her R.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean they didn't give her the 0.5 second stun on her R anymore, so you can still have the mobility to flash or get out. But I definitely think she's gonna be a pick that's gonna be picked or banned.
Right.
They
Same.
didn't buff
Yeah.
somebody big enough to take her on, and for people to be like, oh, if they just pick a Kali, we'll take this and we win.
Yeah.
So
I feel like same with Zed. Either. I mean, he'll probably. I mean, not Zed. Sorry. Yasuo. He'll be banned. I mean, if he makes it through, then you know maybe someone will pick him up.
I would expect to see if Yasuo gets picked, we're gonna see a Sejuani pick or a Gragas pick on that team.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it's just free knockups. Like, how do you contest that with a Yasuo?
Yeah.
So, and I mean, he's been what, like almost perma banned, like not played because of
Right.
the thing, because of just you talk about you get one knockup. It's one thing if like a Malphite comes running at you, knocks you up. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm only up CC'd for 1.52 seconds. I'm out. Good, we can fight. But you get hit with a knockup and Yasuo right behind.
Right. Right.
You're eating the damage for 4 seconds. There's no way around that. So
Yeah.
yes,
And what is it? The last one I would say would be. Oh shoot. I'm thinking. I literally forgot. Shoot.
I think
Oh, Silas. Silas.
Silas.
I think
Okay.
Silas would be picked up in the mid. Like,
I still think Corky's going to be a contested pick in the mid lane just because he's got free escape, free farm, and once he gets 6, he just rockets lanes down and then can roam from top to bottom anywhere he needs to go. So
and you said, and Irelia too. So.
yes, but she would be more on the bruiser side of things, which is where we would cover like mages like Ari, Orianna.
Yeah.
But I guess we can move to that topic because there's not much more to say about that in the
Yeah.
mid lane. It's just like so like when we go to bruisers and mages, I still think Azir is going to be a high pick. Ari might be a pick, but she's not really been changed enough to say like let's just pick Ari into things.
Right.
But Orianna, Azir, 100% going to be picked or banned.
100%. Yep.
Well, Azir will be picked into certain situations, but
I'd like to see Faker play Ori.
oh yeah, especially how bad he just destroyed people before with it. Like
Right.
it's one of his
Yeah.
favorite champions. I still think a Cassiopeia will be picked into a Orianna just because it does offer that trade ability. You just ground her and just throw Qs and Es on her all day long. ADC wise, because a lot of the mid lane picks are going to be based off of who's playing what in a sense. So
you're definitely gonna see Zaya. Kaisa. Kaisa's
Kaisa,
definitely gonna be seen.
Kaisa, Zaya. What do you think about the changes to Vayne and Ashe in the ADC area?
You know, I don't think that's gonna be a big deal. Like in the world, like I don't think that's gonna be a huge pick. Maybe Ash if they were wanting to. I just don't see. I don't see those. I even don't see like people aren't really picking Vayne right like it.
That's just because Kaisa's on the board.
Right, Kaisa's yeah.
It's like
I think
Vayne is definitely a champion you pick to win 45 minutes into the game, not the first 15.
right. Yeah.
I think Ashe might actually be picked up a little more because of her auto tech reset, but it kind of comes down to are they gonna ban Ezreal, right?
I'm gonna say Ezra would be the other one.
Like, cause if you pick Ashe, the instant counter pick to that is Ezreal,
Right.
because his Q outranges your W, and he's just got the safe ability of E. Now,
Right.
we're talking about professional play. We're not talking about the bronze players, silver players, and I mean anybody that panics and E's forward instead of Eing left or right.
Right.
It's like, oh shit, an Ashe arrow, let me E forward.
Yeah, E away from it. E back away from it.
I mean, pros make mistakes too. There was a game like what was it last year where like the guy flashed in a straight line as Nidalee threw a spear into him. So it max ranged the spear and did 400 damage. You're like, why? Why would you do this?
Everybody makes mistakes.
Who was it that like somebody screwed up on a thresh play? I think it was a Yellow Star where he like flashes into a bush, throws a Q, throws out his W, throws up box, and there's nobody there. And he's like, so.
What
So
about Draven? You want to see some Draven?
I want to see Draven in Uzi's hands. Because you're gonna talk about a guy that's gonna have 400 stacks of adoration at like the earliest game imaginable. Uzi with Draven, as long as they. This comes into like the next kind of topic with supports because like I have to say this because the hardest part of playing ADC in any elo at this point in time is Pyke.
It's your support. Oh, yeah.
Pyke.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Enemy team has Pyke. If you take a low mobile ADC with Jinx, Draven, Tristana, Ashe, yeah, like Pyke comes through. You're getting CC'd, you're getting pulled, you're getting R'd. And that's 800 damage just from Pyke, just because it's why a support has an execute, I'll never understand. It's like the guys at Riot were like, what can we do to screw with people?
Yeah.
I've got it. Let's give a Thresh an invisibility of
Pike,
movement
Pike,
speed
Pike.
and an R, and we'll call him Pike. Like, that's literally, it's like, we'll give him a hook, we'll give him an invisibility like a
Right.
Kali or Rengar, and we'll give him a stun and an execute.
Yeah.
Take that, ADCs! Hope you have your big boy pants on and buy Hourglass, because you're gonna need it.
The
So,
thing is, he won't get banned. I mean,
no, because there's too many better bans.
right? Yeah.
I mean, the solution to the problem of Pike is you pick Nautilus. In comes a Pike. Stunned, grabbed,
Right.
slowed, R'd, dead. But the hard part of it is if you're gonna take Nautilus support, and you have to take somebody like an Ezreal or Caitlyn that are just gonna be able to, because if you all in, like that's the downside of like Thresh and Nautilus. Once they're in.
Right.
There's no I screwed up. Let me turn around. It's, well, it was nice playing League of Legends today.
I think Zaya Nautilus is a good Oh, sorry, not Zaya. Kaisa Nautilus.
No, I would agree with you on Zaya as well, because like once
Yeah.
Zaya's 6,
Right.
bye
And
everybody.
even if she all ins, yeah, she can her 6 escape if she needs.
Yeah. Kaisa has her mobility, which is why I think Kaisa is a good pick for, like, ADC wise. There's too many good ADCs
Right.
pending the bans on supports, because Blitzcrank's gonna be a new thing in this league. I mean, there's 100% no doubt that Blitzcrank is gonna be in the pick ban phase.
Yeah.
That increased range means he gets picks from bushes that you didn't think he could get picks from.
Right. Right.
So I definitely think because of that, if there's a Blitzcrank Pike picked, you're gonna see that team snowball faster than the other team will. Now, it'll again come down to the professional play, because these guys, when it comes to my skill level versus professional players' skill level, there's a gap of, you know, the Nile between us.
Yeah.
But
I think Morgana will also be picked too.
Morgana in the support, absolutely, mainly because it's
not
just,
Lux, but
I gotta get my Lux
Chris,
picking.
Chris might pull out a Lux. Might see a Lux.
It's possible. It's
In
possible.
mid though, I don't know about.
All right. No. When's the last time you've seen a Lux played mid? Golden Glue back 4 years ago, or
Yeah.
3 years ago, or something like that. Like,
no, in the Twitch tournament they had. The Twitch streamer.
that's not professional play. That's
That was
wannabe professional.
That was professional.
Let's go with, who are the only 3 people in that were actually professional players?
I'm a cutie pie.
Skara.
Scara. Yeah.
Who else? No one.
No.
No one. I don't even know who played in that. I know, like,
Double didn't even show up in his stream.
what was it? What was it? It was the Twitch what?
The Twitch streamer tournament. I forget what it was called.
What was it? Twitch Rivals?
Yes. Yeah.
Twitch Rivals. I want to see who played in this last one. Twitch Rivals. Who played?
Oh, your favorite. Tyler won.
All right, let me. I don't ever, like, I don't want to be the reason I quit playing League a year ago was because I was a toxic piece of shit. Like, I'm still toxic, but not as toxic as I was. Like, I still rage, but I don't rage as much to the team as much as I just do through my Twitch stream or my microphone. But, like, when Tyler 1 came back, nothing about him changed aside from the fact that he doesn't just take Teemo, buy 6 tiers, and run down mid lane. Like, that's, like, the only difference. He's still toxic to half the people in there. The community that follows him is completely toxic. Like, and of course, like, if anybody ever, like, put this video to him, he'd just be like, oh, he's a fucking bronze player. It doesn't matter what he thinks. The problem of it is, your fans are bronze players. That's where they're toxic. That's where they buy the 6 tiers and run down mid lane.
Yeah.
That's my problem. Like, if him, like, there's no doubt that he's 100% a better ADC than me. I'm not going to deny that his skill level is better than mine. But when you came back to League of Legends and Riot unbanned you because you proved you weren't toxic, you brought a community back with you of nothing but toxic players who think, oh, all I have to do is get banned, then get unbanned, and I'll be a famous Twitch player. It was just one of those things that it had tilted me to the point that I quit playing League of Legends.
So hard not to watch though.
I don't watch his stream at all. I don't watch anything about him.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna turn on somebody's stream, and this is something that I've always said to anybody that watches a player on a Twitch stream. If that player can't offer you vital information to help you get better at what you're doing, there's no point to watch that player. Like you turn on I'm a Cutie Pie stream, he might not be giving you advice, but watch him play ADC and you'll learn some things from him. You're not going to learn the things that micro play. Like I was having a conversation with somebody about the difference between like bronze and gold, gold and diamond, gold and master, master and challenger and professional play. It's like it's not like the difference between a bronze and gold player isn't mechanics. It's never been mechanics in a game. It comes down to the more that you have vision and the less mistakes you make, the easier it is for you to climb the ladder. That is 100% the one way. If you want to get out of iron, bronze, silver, if you have a ward that's not on cooldown, you're not playing right. If you don't have a pink ward in your inventory from your first or second back, you're not playing right. If you're not playing towards the side of the map that you have vision on or the side that your jungler is on, you're not playing right. Like there's so many things that iron, silver, bronze, gold don't do because they don't think about it. They're just like, I'm just gonna keep trying to kill somebody and go,
Right.
I get 20 kills, I win the game, and that's not how League of Legends works. It's never been how League of Legends works. It might work if you're a professional player playing in bronze because you're gonna slaughter everybody there. But go back and watch the Double If stream when he's talking about how diamond players are significantly worse than professional players. He's like, watch, I'll put this wave in this specific spot, and because of that, this guy's gonna do this, that guy's gonna do this, and that guy's gonna go that way, and I'm gonna kill these two guys, take tower, go get dragon, and go back and buy items. 30 seconds later, this guy walks forward, instantly dies, this guy comes running to help him, the mid laner goes top, he kills the jungler, walks over, takes dragon, goes back, buys an item, goes right back to pushing tower. Like,
Yeah.
the difference in play between professionals and lower tiers is significantly different.
Oh yeah.
So
That's why we all watch World. That's why we all watch the tournament.
I watch Worlds not because I think it's gonna make me a better player, because the difference between what happens on stage and what happens in Twitch streams is another significant difference.
Right.
People are like, oh, they picked Soraka jungle. That must be the new broken thing to do.
Yeah.
But then you didn't look at the fact that they had a tank in the bot lane with the ADC. They had a specific mid laner and a specific top laner that made that work.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
This was
Yeah.
a design that they had gone, we know this will work for us because we've done this.
Yeah.
When
And like we always say, we think it would be better if you were playing in a 5-man team where you were all on the same team, picking together, because it makes more sense when you're going into like solo queue. Yeah, okay, pick who you want, but that doesn't mean the rest of your team's gonna pick.
around that champion.
Yeah, around what you pick.
I mean, most of the time, if you lock in Yasuo, somebody is on your team is going to be like, oh, we need a knock up. I don't know why my camera's flashing now. That's weird.
No, bad graphic.
Yeah, bad graphics card. It's happening, boys. But like it's the one thing that is like it's always gotten me about the difference in skill level of players. Everybody always goes, oh, he's mechanically better, so therefore he's going to climb faster, and that's not the case. The case is always like, if you're playing support, and my case in point behind this earlier, we were up 15 kills in a game. We had a support Shaco who was going full AP. Now, in lane, it dominated. They were winning lane, they won lane, they got tower first, they started making transitions.
Right.
But Shaco never upgraded his support item to be able to place wards. He only had the rank 1 of it, which doesn't get upgraded no matter how much gold you collect from it or how much you do from it. It always just stays as that one item. You
Right.
have to upgrade it at least one time in order for it to start transitioning into wards. He never upgraded it, so what do you think happened? We had very little vision on the map. Everybody kept getting picked off in trying to transition from mid to top lane going through river, but they're going in blind because nobody upgraded. Like, I'm playing Lee Sin, so I can't change my ward to a sweeper or to
Right.
a blue trinket because then I cut Lee Sin's mobility in half. But nobody upgraded to a blue trinket. There was no sweeper on the map. Everybody just kept walking to their death. They came back, they won the game. And Shaker goes, I don't understand how this is my fault. I'm like, you're the support. Even if you're going to go full damage, that support item that you buy at the start has to get upgraded for vision because we're 100% reliant on your ward placement to know whether or not we should go somewhere or not. Like,
Yeah.
you get 4 free wards, we get 1 ward every like 90 seconds. That's not enough time to keep anything on the map. So supports in the game have to know what they're doing with word wise. And the second mistake I've always seen lower tier supports do, they just start walking into a jungle blind with nobody around them and
Yep.
be like, "Oh, I just got caught by 3 people." Did you not see this coming? Like, you're walking into the enemy's territory with a giant red flag on your back that says, "Hey guys, I'm here." Ward placement. Dead.
Yeah.
You got the ward, buddy. Gave them 300 free gold.
And that's like the huge difference between pros and like lower elo. It's like wards. If you look at the map and how many wards they place versus how many wards we place in a game, or like normal players place in a game, it's
Oh yeah.
so different.
What was it? Riot did that video. It goes, let me show you the difference between vision placement from bronze to diamond, right? And it's like, there's 110 words placed in a bronze game, 480 placed in a diamond game. There's a significant amount of
Right.
information that is given by wards that, like, even if you go and you place 3 wards and somebody immediately walks in and sweeps them out, we now know where they're at.
Right.
We know
Yeah.
they're there. We know that's where they're playing towards. We can go a different direction, or we can try and flank them and come around them. Like, there's information that's given by that that's not
Yeah.
given when you have a support player that's just like, oh, I got my one support part. I don't need to do anything else but
Right.
get kills. It's like, you're a AP Shaco. You offer nothing to the team after 18 minutes into the game, aside from maybe sneaking behind somebody and killing them. All right, so the only thing we have left to cover on our little list here is, who do you think the best streamer is to watch for either
Best
A,
streamer.
for
Entertainment.
either entertainment, learning how to play the game, or just all around the best streamer for League of Legends?
Well, you know, you. I'm just kidding.
Woo! No, don't watch me. Don't watch.
You made it. You have arrived.
No, don't go to my stream to
So I go to my
like,
stream.
if you come to my stream, I'll tell you this is what I'm gonna be focusing on my stream from here on out. Is I'm gonna be trying to teach iron to gold players how to get to gold. I'm not mechanically good enough or skilled enough to teach you platinum, diamond, master challenger, professional.
Yeah.
I'm not. If you want to come learn how to get from your iron 4 division to gold 1, I can teach you that. I can teach you the things that you'll need to learn mentality wise and mechanic wise in the game to start climbing divisions easier than what you
Right.
currently are. And in my opinion on something like this, like, if you go and you are a bronze tier player and you're watching Doublelift stream and trying to incorporate what Doublelift does into your games, I but you're
Yeah.
not doing the fundamentals that he's doing on the backside of things, you're hurting yourself.
Yeah.
That's, oh look, he just pentakilled. I'm gonna try what he just did to get that pentakill, but you didn't see what he was doing to lead up to that point. Like, that's where things come in differently. I can teach
Right.
you the ins and outs of what you need to get from iron to gold. After that, go watch Double Lift stream. Go watch everybody else's stream. Go watch whoever you want to get from gold to diamond. I don't care to try hard enough to get back to diamond. That was a stressful time. I was literally playing 800 games a season on two different accounts. It, it's and a lot of it was duo queued with a guy that was 100 times better than me as an ADC. And I just played support Thresh, and when he said hook them, I hooked them. We won game. That's how I got to diamond. It's not. I'm not a diamond tier jungler. I'm not a diamond tier mid lane, top lane, or ADC. I'm a diamond tier Thresh player that if I don't have an ADC that knows what the hell they're doing, I'm a bronze Thresh player.
Bronze.
I'm a bronze Thresh player at that point. So
No, seriously though, I would say probably entertainment wise, Night Blue. I mean, he keeps your attention. I don't know. I like to watch him entertainment. Like he does fun things, on his stream. I feel like comes up with different challenges. Maybe that other people are doing as well, but it's just when he talks, it's more engaging. And he does kind of know what he's talking about. But if I were to want to learn from somebody, I probably would say I like watching I'm a Cutie Pie, and it's hard to pick a favorite one because it depends on what role they play and what role you want to play. So if I were saying jungle, I probably would do Night.
so I'll agree with you that Night Blue is very entertaining, but I generally tend to like his YouTube videos more than I like his stream because I love whoever does his editing because I know it's not him that does the editing. Whoever does his editing and puts like the little anime clips in where his webcam should be when stuff goes wrong and it's like the little girl from something with her eyes like all like red flared up and mad like that in my opinion like his YouTube videos I think are far more entertaining than his stream is. I think he was actually more entertaining before he got his webcam and did his face
Oh
reveal
yes, yeah.
than he is now. Uh, I still like, and people are gonna like give me hell for this, but what the fuck is going on with his hair? I mean, it's like it's one thing to have hair and like combed. I know I'm bald, so like, what the hell do I know? But like I mean,
Yeah, you oh.
his hair goes up like this much here. It's like he's bringing the perm back from the 70s. What? But no, he's definitely a good jungler. Like if you're wanting to learn,
Hey, he's live right now.
right? At time of recording of 4:39 p.m. on 9/28/2019, Night Blue is live.
Live, yeah. Go watch him.
But like, uh, here's how I determine who's a good streamer for watching to progress in something. I don't watch Box.
Yeah.
I will watch LL Stylish's YouTube videos, but I will not watch his stream. Uh, if I'm gonna watch a streamer that plays, I want to watch a streamer that doesn't play one or two champions and that's all they play. Because the downside of that is they're one tricks. It's very hard for them to carry the way that they carry with a different champion than their Riven or their Zed or their 100% Draven pick. Like, if I'm gonna watch somebody stream, I want to watch somebody that's gonna play multiple champions throughout their stream.
Right.
That way, I could try and learn the mechanics of those champions in higher play to know what to do in lower play. So, but you're going Night Blue as entertainment, and I'm a Cutie Pie as. I'm surprised you didn't go with Kpia because like she's a
KP?
yeah she does
Mid laner?
she does
She's
mid.
alright. I would probably then if I was doing that, I'd probably do Poke. I mean, at that point, I feel
Pokemon.
like she's better. Yeah, I feel like she's better than KP.
Ooh, it's been called out here. Pokey better than K.
Everybody knows that.
Flame her. It's her fault.
KP even knows that.
So, if I was gonna go with like the most entertaining
Oh,
streamer,
if I were to watch a mid laner, like Bjergsen, but or Faker streams, but they're considered pros, so it's like.
so here's why I won't watch Bjergsen stream anymore. Uh, because like when he first came to NA, he was the most dominating mid laner
Right.
ever in NA history. Right? There wasn't a mid laner that was better than him. There was nobody that could go toe to toe with him. And it's like if you watch his first few LCS games, he's just like, I'm picking this champion. I'm gonna walk in and assassinate this person every 5 minutes, and he would just go and constantly, repetitively kill people. Even in professional play, he would take LeBlanc into Ziggs and just obliterate Ziggs out of the game.
Yeah.
Like now, he's so complacent in his playstyle that I don't think he tries to be better than what he is. It's like look at Faker throughout the history.
Yeah,
Faker just tries to do better and better and better and better and better every year.
Right.
Whereas like, what has Bjergsen done since 2017?
Nothing, because TSM's not in it.
Now, that's a whole different topic that I could spend hours on because like
that was the whole double lift. I mean, that was bad.
I don't
That whole thing.
I don't know who made the decision at the TSM organization to bring in Zen and Mithy from EU and throw double lift out.
Right.
Dumbest decision of whoever did that decision's life. Because
Yeah.
Sven has never been better than double lift. I don't care how good he was over in Europe. He was never better than double lift. For double lift to be like, oh, bye, off of TSM, like, I mean, and
right.
for double lift who has been so anti TSM for 6 years, right? It was just literally, oh, it's free SM. They're bad players. They're terrible. They're garbage. I will trash talk these idiots all day long. To go to TSM after Afromu, who for whatever reason got fed up with double lift, and let me point this out, right? Afromu himself, only time he ever won a split was with double lift, and then complains about double lift. And what have you done since? There's not an ADC in NA that is better than double lift.
Double lift, yeah.
Right? And I will go as far as there's not an ADC in Europe that's better than double lift. I will say Reckles is close. Close. Like, he's close to beating him, but like tier-wise, they're like here.
Yeah,
there's no variation in like there's not a better European ADC than double lift. There's one that's tied with them, but not better. And it's like everybody's like oh, we got Sven and Mithy. You lost that season.
We got 2 for 1.
Look, we did a double lift. It was a terrible decision.
Yeah.
And it shows because look what TL's done for 4 splits in a row.
And look at TSM.
They didn't make it to Worlds the last 2 years.
I know.
2 years you haven't been in Worlds because of your decision making as an organization, not even as like the players like I don't want him on my team because he's terrible. The organization was like these 2 are better than you. Wrong. If you think double lift was bad, the 100% the problem is the support. 100%.
Yeah.
Because like you look at him and Core JJ.
Right.
They like the evidence there proves it. Your decision making and like I don't want to be mean, but like I haven't seen a good TSM jungler since Amazing.
Right. Yeah.
Mike Young, he was a streamer that you picked up thinking he was good. What was it? Who's the more recent guy? Like you had 2 sub junglers and a main jungler on TSM. Who does that? Are you that incapable of being confident in your players that you're like, we need 3 of these because this could go wrong? Like, man. So I could rant and rave about the stupidity of decision making in organizations all day long. Because everybody is so going, oh, we have to pick up somebody from somewhere else that did really well because that will transition to our team. No, it's not how that works. Playstyles and everything are so different between NA, EU, Korea that like picking up a Korean ADC does not make you instantly that much better of a team. Look at Piglet, Season 3 World Champ. What has he done since? It's different playstyles. It's different communication levels and things like that. So I don't know. So now we get to before we end our thing because we are now at an hour and something. An hour and 20. We're at an
Ooh,
hour and 20. Yeah. And I've got to go get food and stuff for dinner tonight
and
before it
I
gets
gotta
too
live.
bad. You gotta live?
Yeah,
Why do you gotta live?
got stuff to do. I gotta make my video.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're so well. When she finally gets her channel
And when
set
I
up,
let you know.
see, that's one of your problems though. You shouldn't be hiding your channel from the people because like most YouTubers start out with their friends and family being
People
the ones
they
that watch the
know.
video
Yeah,
to get them because the YouTube algorithm is that way. The more people
right.
that you have watching it, the more likely it's going to be promoted. So
Yeah.
like if you're like I'm not going to tell the 50 people that are going to go watch my video what my channel is. That's a terrible decision. But she's not going to be doing at first at least. I don't know if she will
Yeah.
eventually over time, but she's going to be doing
I'll
more of
try to
a
come on and I'll try and come play with you when you.
well, I'm not talking about like you playing video games. That'll happen when
Oh.
it happens. I'm talking
Oh.
about
Okay.
your channel. Like we're gonna like pitch your channel out the
Oh.
window here real quick. So she's gonna be doing more of a vlog type video where she's going to talk about things going on either in her
What?
head, lifestyle,
Wow.
whatever it may be. She's also a like 13 days away from getting married. Congratulations.
One day away from my birthday.
She she ages tomorrow. She'll be 21 for something amount of
Woohoo.
times.
8 times.
8 times 21. Bravo. Make sure you buy
What
her
is
a
that?
shot if you find her at the bar.
29. Insert new girl.
Right? So, but her channel, when she gets it, we will put it at the in the description for people to go follow because she is an entertaining person to talk to. I mean, I've been friends with you what 4 years now, going on. I've been
Only
at
four?
I've
I
been
feel
at
like it's been longer.
I've been at Henry Shine for 4 years and three
Okay.
months. So
Then it has to be 4, yeah.
so
4 years.
so 4 years, and obviously I value your opinion enough to bring you onto my first ever episode of Press R, which I should have like mentioned like 85 times through this video just to
Press R.
yeah right
We'll
press
have shirts next. Soon enough, I'll get shirts and make shirts.
right
Press R.
just Press R.
And the
So
R be in a button. The R will be in a button.
yeah, I like that design. Patent it right now. So but yeah, we'll include her description. We'll include I don't you're not gonna be streaming.
I
You're just
won't. I'll try to play with you though sometimes.
you're just gonna be
Jump
YouTubing.
on
So
your stream. Yeah.
so I'll be live on twitch.tv/bloodworks any given day. There'll be a link to that description when we get her YouTube channel name.
And
We'll
maybe
put
I'll
that in
do
the
a
description,
comeback. Comeback on stream.
right? But so next time, what are we gonna be discussing on Press R? Do we
Well,
talk?
Worlds, obviously, the play and games
Yeah,
left started.
yeah. It'll actually be three days worth of play-ins will be
Yep.
done by the time we record. So we will have one day left. So we will see where our predictions are, see how right we were, how wrong we were, how close we were, and we'll go from there. This is probably gonna take about an hour and a half to upload to YouTube. So luckily, I'm going to go shopping and go get some food for the house. Maybe some cat treats because these guys are
Yeah.
assholes. But I think next time we'll talk about Worlds. We'll try and get into a discussion because there will not be another patch for League until after Worlds is done.
Right.
At least they won't play on a different patch. We might get patch 220 in between, but they will only play on 919.
Yeah.
So
I think that and like maybe pointing at like I don't know, giving advice on different things
so
that happen, different situations. I mean, those situations might not happen in like what or like in lower elo, but I think it's good to even
I think we'll cover most of the games that happen that we want to talk
yeah,
about. But I think what we'll
yeah,
also do is I'll try and get some replays from games that I've played, and not try and focus on what's going on my side, but like the decision making that's being made by both teams during these plays. So if I
right.
find stuff that I find interesting, I'll get it recorded and bring it out to the next one, which I'll try and work on a way to make our I don't know. I guess I'll have to
To
find a
add a clip. Yeah.
not so much to add a clip, but be able to like because like if I shrink this, like you see Discord, so I'd have to put it in a very small window down here. So I might have to find a way
Mm.
to tinker with my channel or my monitors to make it to where we can both view it. Because right now the only thing we can do is video call. I can't screen share what I'm saying. So
Right.
you won't be able to see
Right.
my
Right.
replay unless I put that replay as a private video on YouTube and be like, all right, let's start this here, then talk about
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll go from there. Eventually, we'll try and get some other guest stars, and we'll definitely go from that point of view.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys,
Maybe
thanks for watching Press R. Again, I am Mark. This was Mia. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you next time.
see ya.